Good afternoon. My good friend Reg of Wizened over there in Wales sent me these series of 9 PowerPoint slides, and they contain a warning, a computer warning. So check this out. Warning from Wizened to all Tom McLean Positive Belfast subscribers. Be very, very careful about your computer updates, especially if they're from Microsoft. My apologies for making this the text only, that's why I'm reading it, as Microsoft have removed the software for my microphone and recording. So that's Reg is having a really difficult time due to Microsoft. So here's what he says. It was known a few years ago that Microsoft was planning a new system for their Office program and how it might seek to control how you use your computer. Many people objected to the idea, but it was inevitable that Microsoft would win through, and it began about 2 years ago with MS Office 365. I already had a student Office version 2007, which was quite good, enough for most of my work, as it included Excel, PowerPoint, etc. So for a whole year I debated the idea of taking on 365, but the cost of purchase was extortionate. It was an extortionate fixed cost approximating to £1 per day with an annual renewal. MS were obviously laughing all the way to the bank. Reg goes on. Anyway, I decided to give it a try, and boy did I learn the error of my ways. I quickly discovered that everything produced, such as documents, photos, artwork, etc., goes into the cloud and can't be copied, taken out or removed from other than by deletion. In effect, it's now owned by MS, who control every aspect, but it gets worse. MS very kindly give you 5 gigabytes totally free space in the cloud, which is actually not an awful lot, except that only a few photos or graphics will take up that space in as little as a single document. And of course, if you need more cloud storage, which basically you will do, it comes at a cost. There is a way around that problem, but if you don't know how to do it, Microsoft have made it extremely difficult to find within the realms of information or reams of information that they supply. Reg goes on to say, I tried it for a year, little realising that MS was still taking my annual payments without my knowledge or authorisation. I also found it frustrating in the extreme, simply because there was so much that gave benefit to MS and little for the customer. In the end, I reverted back to my student version, which still did the job well enough without all the bells and whistles, which I suspect most customers never use anyway. They can be pretty naff. However, that did not solve the problem, for although I had disabled, as far as I could determine, 365, my student version was automatically saved in the 365 program, despite my determined efforts to save it in a different place that wasn't governed by MS. However, sorting the desired location for saving your work, it still copies into 365 and can't be removed. Since that doesn't really affect my preferred location, it doesn't matter, but it shows just how much MS want to control everything you do. Most of my days are spent on the computer, so I get to see the update messages most of the time and choose whether or not to continue or leave it for another time. Then last Friday, something cosmic took place at around 10 o'clock. I had gone into the kitchen to make a cup of tea, having almost completed another video for Tom, that's me. Back at the computer, I saw what had appeared to be MS 365 being updated. Strange, I thought, as it had been updated only a couple of days earlier. And this update was taking much longer, and while I tried to stop it downloading further, it wouldn't allow me. The download completed, I could see only an instruction to open MS Edge, which, as I said, I had already disabled a long time ago. I wasn't having that, so I closed it. From that point onwards, it was a disaster of huge proportions. Everything that wasn't Microsoft had been wiped clean. All of my hundreds of documents, photos, presentations, Google Browser, Password Manager, and almost every program I had purchased, all stripped clean. My computer was now just a useless box that allowed me to do nothing. It was also interesting to discover that they had also removed my student version, which underlines just how much control MS really have. At first I thought I had been the victim of a hacker, and the first thing on Saturday morning I went to the bank and had my account appraised, then shut down temporarily. However, the bank assured me that my accounts had not been touched. I then went to EE, my internet and mobile phone provider, and asked if they would check for any problem. But after a good check, there was no problem or hacking discovered. Back home, I tried to get through to my internet security company, but that too had been wiped, and in any case was not open during weekends to discuss the problem. I didn't want to start mucking about with resets and the like, as I'm not competent enough to get into the technicalities learned from bitter past experience. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will experience similar problems, but MS is intent on ending Windows 10 in order to bring in Windows 11, which it seems many boffins neither like nor want. Part of the reason is that many Windows 10 users have older machines that can't handle Windows 11 and therefore will be forced to purchase a new computer, all to keep Microsoft happy in their total control because there is no real choice. Yes, you can continue to use Windows 10, but there will be no support for any problems and no updates of any kind, so you are stuck. Anyway, my friends, I have done my best to warn you of what to expect. You may come through it well enough, but also bear in mind that you may experience problems similar to mine, and it will be a costly experience. Best wishes from Wizened Owl Productions, and that's Reg over in Wales, who is coming, I think he's coming 80 years old, and he really relies on his computer contact. So this is bad for Reg. Everything's been wiped. So he's giving us all a warning of what might happen to us too.